There's a myth about ancient Egypt and that it's part of North Africa as one giant unit. But there's a couple problems with this assertion. The first one being, if Egypt is part of North Africa as a whole, then where are the pyramids located all over North Africa? Why do they stop in the Egyptian area and the Egyptian desert? I'm not counting the Nubian pyramids because they were inspired by Egypt, or the Garamanti pyramids in Libya because they were also inspired by the Egyptian ones and only came way later. The second problem is, how come literature in North Africa outside of Egypt and parts of East Africa only start in the era of the Romans? This assumption that the Akkadians or the Sumerians came in and gave writing to the Egyptians. Well, that's fine, but the Akkadians or whatever they were also went to other parts of Africa, right? Like North Africa. So why is there no writing in those areas? The next one is an obvious one. How come there are more similarities in East Africa? For example, buildings and stuff that come from a more African point of view than they are in North Africa, where a lot of North Africa's infrastructure was built during the era of the Romans. So if you look it up on almost all academic pages, and this is not to downgrade North Africa. North Africa is one of my favorite places in Africa. It's just to say that the similarities between Egypt and North Africa are limited. The historians and the general population can try as hard as they want. They will never separate the black people of that region from their history. Keep in mind that I'm not saying that North Africa had nothing to do with ancient Egypt. I'm just saying that the native ancient North Africans contributed to the foundation of ancient Egypt in a more physical way. And even though foreigners from the Middle East played a role, it wasn't as big as they pretend that it is. For example, the mummy that I talked about that came from North Africa, showing that mummification might have started in North Africa.